Brought to you by LaunchPod Media.
Hey everybody, welcome back to LaunchPod Media's YouTube channel, where today we're going to talk about how to get your podcast started. There are a ton of podcasts out there. I think right now that we're hovering about the 800,000 mark in podcasts. And if you want your podcast to be able to stand out from all those different podcasts out there, you need to take three individual things into consideration. The first thing that you need to do is figure out who you're going to be talking to. Podcasting is a two-way street. You're going to be talking to somebody and somebody else is going to be listening. So you want to make sure you know who the person is listening. Are they a guy? Are they a gal? Are they 25? Are they 65? Are they in high school? Are they already graduated college? Are you going to talk to them as an equal or are you going to talk to them as a teacher? You need to understand who your actual audience is, because the whole thing of your podcast and the whole bit of content that you're going to be providing for them is going to be shown to them to that particular audience. And so you don't want to be talking to everybody in the whole world, not just everybody with a neck, but actually everybody that you want to talk to in a very narrow area. I would try and narrow it down to an age group. I would try to narrow it down to a specific interest area. If you're a dog expert, talk to, millennials that have dogs. If you're a cat expert, talk to old ladies that are 65 and older that have cats. Make sure that you know exactly who your audience is. And go and talk to them. If there are Facebook groups that you're part of, or Reddits that you're part of, or a subreddit that you're really, really interested in, make sure to actually go and talk to them and see if they'd be interested in the type of content that you're interested in talking to them about. That's the second part. Figure out what type of content you're actually going to be providing them. Often, people think, I'm just going to talk about my life and my story, and that's fantastic. But as we talked about in a previous video, right here, appearing on your screen, you can actually find out what different types of podcasts there are and why those are important, and why you should try to niche down to a specific type of content. That being said, if you're going to be talking to millennials, then you'll want to be talking to that audience for one, but you also make sure that you have an area of authority in what you're talking about. If you actually don't speak Japanese, don't do a podcast on Japanese. If you actually don't know how to play the drums, don't do a drum playing podcast. Make sure that you're talking to them in an area of content that is actually going to matter to that audience and that you have an authority or a stake in that area of content. So one, you know who you're talking to, and two, you know what you're talking about. And the third biggest thing is actually just going out there and getting started. I could talk all day about the different types of microphones, how to get your podcast distributed, how to optimize your show, and what image you should be using. But at the end of the day, if you have good content and a loyal audience, all that stuff kind of falls by the wayside. But people tend to get trepidation when they get started because they want everything to be perfect. I live by a specific rule when it comes to new podcasts. Whether I'm doing a big podcast for a major corporation or whether we're doing a podcast for my neighbor, I always follow this rule. And this rule is the 6-episode rule. Give yourself an out at 6 episodes. Tell them from day one that you're just going to be getting out 6 episodes if you're just not feeling it. And expect your first 6 episodes to suck. That's right. Your first episodes are going to be absolutely terrible. And that's okay. You want to start somewhere and get someone. You're not going to be a great football player if you don't start somewhere. You're not just going to become LeBron James overnight if you just pick up a ball one day. Expect your first 6 episodes to be you just getting comfortable with talking about what you want to be talking about and be comfortable in front of a microphone, because it's very, very different. Personally, I'm more comfortable now in front of a microphone than I am in front of a camera, but I'm expecting my first couple episodes just to suck, just to kind of be there and sit out in the ether of the internet. And you know what? I don't care, because I'm going to put myself out there and my content is going to be good enough that people are going to want to listen. So remember, know who you're talking to, know what you're talking about, and that you actually can talk about that type of content. And 3, just go do it. Get off your butt, go buy a $60 microphone off Amazon and actually record your podcast. Put it up on Spreaker, Podbean, Libsyn, or whatever you'd like to be able to put your podcast on, and get your podcast out there. If you don't like it, take it down. But get your podcast out there, actually start recording. And if you have any other questions about how to do a podcast, make sure to check out this channel, because we're going to be releasing new podcast-oriented content every single week. And if you really like this video, smash that like button, because there's no other way that we will know that you love us or not if you don't tell us. Don't make that mistake, guys, and I'll see you next time. Later.